Hey, good morning. It's Mike Liu. I'm with Dan and Natalie Hall, and we've just completed I'd say a large whole house renovation in some capacity. And we were working with Catherine Montague at Montague Designs and Paul Rosenblatt and Bill Sustek over at Springboard Designs. And it was a great collaborative effort. And so first off, just want to thank you guys for selecting us, obviously with them too. I thought it was a great collaboration. But yeah, just wanted to sit down with you guys and get your whole perspective, even starting with Catherine and Paul and then talking about the whole construction experience with L&L. But just wanted to see what you guys thought about everything.
Yeah, it's been an experience all along, not to be undertaken by the faint of heart. As you know, I'm a surgeon, and what I do professionally is rearrange the plumbing inside of people. And one wants it to go exactly the way that you draw it up inside the surgeon's head. And most of the time, it goes that way. But what distinguishes the surgeon that you want at your bedside, as opposed to just anyone, is the one who can deal with what happens when things don't go precisely as you would expect. So this house was built in 1904. I do a lot of the work in it myself. Every time I open up something, I say to myself, I know of two right ways to do that, and this is not one either of those. What's going on? And as you know, and as we were joking about before, day 2 and day 3, we found 2 separate pipes and took 2 of the rooms that we had thought would be available to us out of commission going forward. But never did I have the sense that we were not in trustworthy hands, that we were going to get to the finished product that we wanted in the end in the construction process. Same thing with Paul and Catherine. I think we were terrified of this color when it first went up on the wall, and to some degree the color in the classroom or our living room as well was beyond our initial comfort zone, but in the end has really demonstrated the fact that the clarification of goals and desires that we worked on together iteratively for close to 9 months before we started construction. They really listened to what we were looking for, came up with a common vision, and same with L&L moving forward. Every time we took something apart, it was like, uh-oh, how are we going to manage this? And in the same way that a protracted and challenging recovery from a surgery requires deep investment from the patient as well, Natalie and I were in constant contact with Catherine and Paul and you and your folk who listened, responded, troubleshot with each other, and in the end got where we needed to go. Yeah. There were times when I was ready to give up in despair, but I've shepherded my patients through similar emotions, and here we are at the end. And this is the house that we had sort of thought that we might be able to achieve with appropriate help and guidance, and we're very grateful for being here today.
Awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. I will say, all right, I give you both a lot of credit because we had some attrition in the company. There was some highs and lows with 2 pipes getting punctured very early on and causing water damage throughout. Yes. So construction doesn't always go super smooth, but it's how you respond. And you guys were very easy to work with, and you were understanding, and hopefully we resolved things very quickly. And then obviously there were some personnel changes. So we acknowledge that on our end and just wanted to say thank you for being patient with us. Mm-hmm. So then Natalie, now that the space is all done, what is your, I know it's probably a tough one. What's your favorite space? And then talk about some of the rooms. Because I want to hear your story again, Dan, about the upstairs attic space, about your kids, which is very touching. Yeah.
So Dan is a surgeon. I'm clergy. And so mostly I just prayed a lot through the whole experience. But this house, the way it stands now, very much is an answer to so many of the prayers and frankly hopes that we'd had going in. We're just extremely grateful for what's happened. We were remembering fondly that with some of the staff turnover, there were 2 members of your team that I remembered and only knew as Pete and John. that was not their names.
Matt and Paul.
They were wonderful. And they were here constantly, and it became a running joke between all of us because they thought it was a great new name. I think that among my favorite portions, not just of what I live in right now, just in process, Catherine came up with ideas that I never would have really thought of myself. And they were, as Dan mentioned, for example, this room. I don't think that I had imagined that this room would be as wonderful as it presently is. I even as the paint was going up, I thought, oh, it's a mistake, it's a mistake, it's a mistake. And now I look at it and say, oh, this is wonderful. Yes. And I'm so glad when people come over, our friends, family members come in and say, gosh, I wouldn't have thought of this either. This is wonderful. And so we feel so proud and happy to invite, colleagues, church members, friends into our home, and we know that they're coming into a beautiful, settled space. I know that I feel so happy, especially this room in the back. We call it the classroom because our daughter started calling it the classroom when she could first learn to speak. It's the family room. The classroom is just my favorite place to sit. The bright yellow of the room is rich and deep, and it makes me think that, we're only an hour from Falling Water, which the whole purpose of that space is to push you outside. And the classroom makes me feel like I am being pushed into nature because not only can I see it with the windows that have been put in and with the raising of the bottoms of the sills, it just frames this park area so beautifully. I see the leaves, I see nature, and then it's being backlit by this beautiful, rich yellow. And it's such a comfortable space. I feel like nature and our daily life is just coming together in a unified sense, and I'm so pleased with it.
Very cool. Very cool. And I will, just to back you up, these are very bold color choices. They are amazing though. I never in a million years would have picked this or even that yellow too. But that yellow is so inviting and homey, it makes you feel comfortable just walking in. That's at least the impression I got walking in. Because I haven't been here since that room's been painted.
It's exactly why we were so glad to work with Catherine and with Paul, because I don't think we could have imagined the space the way that they did. Yes. And we wanted to work with people who could imagine things so differently and outside of what we would do, because, frankly, we're pretty boring people.
Me too. Yeah. White walls. That's why we bring in experts in their field. That's why I hope if I need heart surgery, I'm coming to you.
Yeah. Not heart, guts.
Well, actually, I hope I never see you.
That's appropriately the case. Yeah. Don't you. I'm there if you need me, but let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yes. Dan, can you tell, we were walking upstairs earlier and we went into the attic. Can you talk about how your family's using that space now? Because it was touching and I think great for a new generation.
Yeah. So it was sort of an abandoned portion of the house prior. I had my COVID office was up there. We were able to, put people to sleep when they were visiting, but it really was not a usable space. I want to exercise there in the morning and would, but Natalie, people wouldn't go up there. The door was closed. I would be the only one that would go up and down.
Sure.
The construction process broke our kids' TV habits, which was great. And although the TV is up now, they're not watching. There's this great, beautiful rug that takes up a whole space in a room that's got new light in it with usable shelves, and their toys have gone up there. And although we can push those to the side and use the space for other things, and I'm continuing to do my weight training there in the morning, they're up and creatively playing with their toys in a way that they had never done before because it was a mess and not an inviting space, and that's just really great.
It's awesome. That's awesome. That's special.
Yeah.
That's really using the space the way it's designed and meant to be used.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the two other favorite places of the room. One is when I get up at 5 a.m. and walk down the hallway to go up and do the weightlifting, I just have a sense of peace that the floor on which I am walking is both clean, not ratty old rug, and is solid rather than moving around, rather than this hyper detailed surgeon going, this floor is awful. Yeah. It's like, oh, just peace in having that set. It's a trivial detail that only I would understand, but it gives me great peace to walk on a solid floor. But also the reclaiming of the space in the master bedroom with a couple of other pieces of furniture, changing the blinds, opening things up. I've been taking meetings from there, and everybody is jealous because they see peak leaves behind me and peak leaves in front of me, and it's just a beautiful place to sit and have a time.
It's always about the little things.
Yeah.
It's all the little things. Yeah. And then lastly, we didn't even talk about your master bathroom, bedroom, revamped space. How's the day-to-day living with that? Improvement? Is it any better than before?
Our children have never been so clean.
Wow, wasn't expecting that.
Because they are so excited that we have this beautiful shower.
Yeah.
And there's enough space for both of them. I mean, they're very young, so the girls love to go and have water fights, and so it's a highlight of many evenings that never was before.
That's awesome. My kids take baths together. Dee's do. Yeah. Dee and I took baths and showers together when we were kids too. That's just what you do.
When you're little. Yeah. So, and we just find that, I mean, at this point, we can find things. We know where our clothes are. We know that, you know, we know where our toiletries are. We know where everything is. It's clean.
Yeah.
It's organized, and it's so inviting. It's so beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous. The mosaic, the tile, the way it was laid out. You guys knocked that one out of the park. All the finishing and fixtures, everything is beautiful.
More so than I'd anticipated. It's created a new form of marital discord because I designed that shower for me and Natalie, and I'm a little frustrated that it's being invaded. So now we need to design the other one, Paul.
Kids take over. That's what happened. I want to thank you guys again. First off, you guys were great clients. I appreciate just the flexibility and there were a lot of issues, but as a team, we worked together, and then this is what turned out. Yeah. So thank you for that, but thank you for the interview, and it was great working with you guys, and I hope one day if we ever work together again, we all get to work together again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was great. Yeah. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.